So I was sitting on the floor in the Melrose Avenue ashram, on the carpet, looking at beloved Smriti, feeling how happy I was that I stayed and didn't go back. Nothing wrong with Yogananda, but I've explained the difference in the teaching, the Dhamma, and the heart response to beloved. Just happy that I stayed, and I was there in a relationship with him. He came in the room, he saw me sitting on the floor, and he came and sat next to me on the floor. His shoulder leaned against my shoulder on the right side here. I was so happy that he came in the room and touched me, sat next to me, that I wanted to start praising him. But I didn't have the words. I didn't know how to use the words yet. So I said things like, "Thank you, Franklin, for everything you're doing. You're doing a good job. We really like you a lot and want you to continue." It was like I'm talking to a Red Cross worker rather than divine avatar who's here to change mankind, which is actually the truth. Right? He didn't let me say very much, right? He basically turned his face right in front of my face, about that close. I immediately stopped speaking. I looked into his eyes, and his pupils started getting larger and larger and larger. They almost completely covered the color, and it was an overwhelming feeling of absolute vulnerability. It was so vulnerable. There was no defenses, like an infant. There was no defenses in his being. He was right there, showing me that he is absolutely vulnerable. And what does absolute vulnerability feel like? Love. Because love is the truth of existence. Love is the truth of our being. You take away all the defenses, all the protections, love is what comes through. That overwhelming vulnerability in his eyes became an absolute state of love. It was that. And it was bliss. You know, in the drug days and all the other days or experience days, it's high bliss. No, natural. The natural condition of existence is love bliss. It's not a special event at all. It is our own reality. There's no one having an experience of it. It's just the true condition. And after a short time, there was no sense of me looking at him. The whole thing of separation fell away, and there was only the state of love bliss. A perfect simplicity. No one having an experience. But the condition itself was consciousness. Conscious, self-aware. And it lasted, tears are pouring down my eyes, lost in his gift of freedom, of love bliss. I don't know how long it lasted, there was no sense of time. But when I turned to beloved Adi Da with my heart open to simply receive his gift, not to try to get something, but to simply receive his gift, he shows me that love bliss is the condition of existence and we're not separate. It's all a divine unity. At some point he said, "You should see what you look like." And he woke up with a great big laugh and gave me a huge hug. And I fell into his heart and his body in that love, in that hug. I became his devotee that day. Everything before that was attraction, interest, feeling, vulnerability, depthfulness, all this stuff. That day he showed me that he is his realization. He is not a separate person. He is the condition of love bliss. He is the condition of freedom. And he showed me that I am that also. Not exclusively, we all individually are that. Love bliss is our own true condition. And there's no one generating it as an object. It was a condition of existence itself. So when he showed that kind of depth of revelation, I had to recognize that this is the happiness I've always sought. This is the truth. Not a little superficial glimpses, this is it. And of course the whole way is about the process of growing in that.